But please be aware. Okay, sorry. But please be aware there are students who share those same halls as your kid and parents at home who will not feel that same security with an adult professionally trained to deal with adult criminals.
Yeah, deal with those adults.
That's right.
Who look like me or 5 shades darker.
That's right.
Instead of bringing these professionals to deal with conflicts among kids in our schools, maybe we should be asking more questions.
Ooh.
What are schools doing now to prevent these conflicts?
Ooh.
What relationships are being made with students with behavior issues?
That's right.
Are there needs being made?
Ooh.
There's only so many times you can send a kid to ISAP.
That's right.
I suggest we focus on changing and creating effective ways to discipline these students before adding a cop into the mix.
Ooh.
From words, I like to share a couple words. Your chief LMPD Shields once said, without having dedicated school resource officers trained in identifying gang members, conflicts were lacking critical intelligence. But I'm here to tell you today, if we don't do anything different, we need to listen to the kids first, the kids who are going to this school building for how many, 100-something days?
How many times did I say that?
We're the ones having to deal with those SROs every day.
Yeah.
We're the ones that are going to have to face them and see them every day. By allowing them to come back, we're dismissing the trauma of minority students and black students that are coming into these schools every day. Not everyone is going to be safe by an adult walking around with a gun in their waist.
Ooh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a student.
All of you white folks over there who were speaking on black kids, talking about black percentages, this, that, and the third, we just had a student of color come over here and talk to y'all, and y'all ignored her the entire time. You cannot constantly come up here and speak for our children whenever our children can speak for themselves, and when they do, you choose to ignore them. These kids are going to be adults one day, and all they're going to become is another Carmen Jones who's going to be another motherfucking problem for this city.
Ooh. I told y'all to listen
Hello, I'm another senior at Atherton High School, and I also participate in BSU. And I think that before you criticize any of these people, ask why this is happening. Ask why people are angry. Ask why people have to shout out what they feel. Ask that.
Come on, baby.
And while you're sitting over there and not listening, that's what we need to do more. We need to listen to people. Because this happens because you don't listen to people. You don't listen to students because you don't value them. You don't value their lives, especially students of color, and I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of crying in counselors' offices. I'm sick of getting upset when I hear about this, and then we skip over in the school classroom. I'm sick of seeing this. Because all lives matter too, and when black lives matter, then all lives matter. When black lives mean something, then all lives mean something.
that part.
Black students
I
are
told
speaking.
y'all better listen to these kids. I told y'all.
Black students are speaking.
Black
Black
students
students are
speaking.
speaking.
This is who
Black
y'all
students
need
are speaking.
Let me say something. Stand with black
This is who y'all
women.
need to be listening to. The people that's inside the real schools. The people that's living and not the people on their way to the cemetery.
My name is Josiah Finley. I'm a student at Atherton High School, and I participate in Atherton's BSU as our vice president this year.
Get it. Get it.
I'm also our junior class vice president as well.
Come on.
So far, I have pulled off a 4.29 GPA at Atherton. So while you're over there talking about the grading gap,
Teach
you need to be over here listening to us.
Come on. You hear what he said? Get your notepad
You know what?
out.
I'm not
Get your
gonna.
notepad out.
Anyway,
Get your notepad. Let him know. Let him know. You got a 4.0 in his class. 4.0. You got a 4.2.
as a student at Atherton High School,
I said right at
I
there.
travel to the Highlands every day on an hour-long bus ride. I live in the west end of Louisville, and I can tell you right now that my home life and my school life are completely different in some ways. They're polar opposites, honestly. But one similarity that I can always count on, no matter where I am in Louisville, no matter where I am in America, is the fact that my skin color will always be the first thing that people judge me by.
Come on, tell them.
Typically for students, school is supposed to be seen as a place where they can escape. School is supposed to be a safe place. Myself included, I have considered it one of the many places that I can feel like, where I can finally decompress and explain my thoughts simply because of our BSU. But now we're getting that safe place taken away from us. I understand that we have all seen the violence that has been happening, especially to our students this year. These past few months have been difficult, and in fact, I know that there are 150 homicides that have happened in Louisville this year alone, and 27 of them have been JCPS students, and 21 of those have been children. 21 of those people were 17 years old and under. So I almost can understand where Chief Shields is coming from, but emphasis on almost, because she is not a student, she is not a student of color, and she cannot speak for us. She doesn't know what will make us safe.
You speak for yourself.
By adding SROs, you are painting a target on the back of students of color. You are taking away our freedom.
That was powerful.
You are making us feel like we are unsafe in our own schools, in our hallways, in our classrooms, in our common areas, in our offices.
Are those dead kids free? When they get
Don't
killed,
interrupt
are they
him.
free?
Don't interrupt him. Keep going, baby. Keep going.
School. If they get killed on the way,
Keep talking. Keep talking. He don't matter. You keep talking. 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 You keep talking.
White people out there, too many places to speak. You shut up.
Let him talk.
And let him finish.
Let him talk.
You shut up and let him talk, Bird Bailey. You shut up and go back to your motherfucking What's up? What's up? What's up? Because it's over. You white people out there too much to say.
Getting way too much attention. Back to this black man. Come on now, y'all. Right over here. Come on now, y'all. Get your cameras back on what's important. Put your cameras back on what's important. I want to hear your message. I want to hear your message. Keep talking.
Since you want to talk about those dead kids, let me talk about this.
Yep, come on, let's talk about
From
that.
1999 to 2018, out of 197 school shootings in America, only 3 have been successfully intervened by SROs. We are sacrificing the mental health of our students of color for a 1.5% success rate. Do the math yourself.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Say that part again.
Say that part again.
Say that part again.
1.5% success rate.
Say the whole thing over again.
Say it all over again.
That whole part. That last part.
Out of 179 school shootings in America from 1999 to 2018, SROs have successfully intervened in 3.
Shut the fuck up and listen.
Thank you, sir. So instead of trying to criminalize us, maybe you should focus on humanizing us.
That's right. That's right, baby.
Instead of trying to be reactive to our problems, be proactive.
That's right.
Get involved with our families.
That's right.
Get involved with students. Make us feel like we don't have to bring weapons to school. Don't add more weapons to the building.
Yeah. Come on now, King. Say it again,
If you
King.
can't wrap your mind around that, then you need to sit in a classroom full of students who feel like that is the only way to defend themselves.
Boy, you Obama.
That's what 4.2 right. All right, King.
What I wanted to say was, y'all are trying to fight fire with fire. You're
bringing guns to stop guns. It doesn't make sense.
Shit out of the way.
And what happens when we get rid of our guns? What happens when we clear out our streets with all of the weapons we use to protect ourselves? You're still there with guns, scaring us, making us not want to go to school. Think about the dropout rate with blacks, African American kids. It's not because that they don't want to be in school, they don't want to learn. They're not learning about themselves. They're not. How are they going to go into school and learn when they're scared for their lives? You can't learn when you have fear in your body. It's scientifically proven.
Come on, baby. They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about it. There's some more kids right there back there. There's some more babies. All the babies. I listen to y'all adults. Don't know nothing.
I'm tired of listening to y'all. Y'all talk too much.
Y'all are kids. We do. It's not about what you think. Shut the hell up.
You talk in every fucking space.
Come on, baby.
When they add SORs to our school, they're taking what we get outside of school into school.
Yeah.
I've never been into any drama outside of school, but my brother has. And because of that, I've been put in risk. Every day I walked home, there was someone following me, and I didn't even know it. If I can die outside of school because of guns, what makes you think I want to be around guns inside of school? People get guns to protect themselves. If I can't protect myself in school, which I shouldn't have to protect myself in school. I shouldn't have to feel like I need a gun in school. Well, I should feel safe and I should be learning.
That's right, baby.
If y'all have guns, we should have guns.
Yep.
What's the difference? What's the difference? We're the same people.
Who are you?
We're the same people.
A bitch with a badge. That's right, baby. You did good. You did good.
Very well said.
She spoke at the y'all spoke at the FOB meeting, didn't y'all?
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
How do I work this? Oh, okay. So I've said this one too many times before.
Come on, baby.
My name is J.S. Rashid, and I'm going to tell you my perspective while watching the videos of what was happening in 2020 and on the news. When I was 12, I was watching videos about what the police were doing to the peaceful protesters all across the U.S. I saw tear gas, rubber bullets, police cars ramming into people, smoke bombs, police assaulting people, spraying mace in eyes, a man making a literal horse run over a woman, hurting reporters and breaking their equipment, violently detaining innocents, and for what? The First Amendment supposedly gives you the right to free speech and to gather peacefully without interference. Unless there is a chance of being a riot, in these clips, I'm seeing there was no chance of being a riot breaking out. A little girl got mace in the eyes. Rioters and thugs are the many words they use to describe peaceful protesters. But when Trump supporters stormed the Capitol and put so many lives in danger, it's protesters. When you really, they should be terrorists and rioters. When I watched those clips of them storming the Capitol, I laughed out loud. They look so idiotic. Even off-duty police were there. The same people who protect us are siding with the terrorists. How am I supposed to look at this as a 12-year-old girl watching the heroes of this nation beating people like me? Where were those smoke bombs, rubber bullets, mace, and batons being used for? Now I'm going to lead this back, if you're confused.
Where was that when they was protesting?
Come on, baby, let them know.
How am I supposed to react to SROs at my school and my future high school? Me and tons of kids are going to remember what those police officers did and think how are they different from the police in my school. Racism still exists and people have trauma from the police. A majority of my classmates do not trust them. How are you going to gather info if people don't trust you? That trauma does not go away. Schools are supposed to be a safe space. But how is it safe when SROs are in the hallways with guns? If violence is a problem at your school, instead maybe hire security guards. This isn't a school issue. What happened to Tyree Smith happened outside of school.
Come on, baby, tell them.
SROs voted out for a reason. What is this really about?
Yeah, that's right, baby. That's right.
I like to say something else to the crowd out here. If you look around, you'll see that none of the people in there protest, wanting the SROs back. They're not here no more. They aren't. They don't want to listen. If they truly cared about what we had to say, this is coming from the mouth school every day. If they truly cared and wanted the kids protected, they would be in here listening. Not home. Not home. They'll be here. If our lives matter, if my life mattered, why aren't you here listening to me right now?
Teacher!
Where you at? Where y'all at? Because I don't see y'all. Now y'all gonna be, in y'all
barrel.
y'all gonna be posted up talking about this in y'all's conservative Facebook groups, but not here listening in person, getting a new perspective. We are kids, not criminals. Again, we are kids, not criminals. Not statistics. We are kids. I am someone's daughter. I am someone's daughter. That's someone's son. That's someone's daughter. Oh my God. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And I just find the irony in this because the only people that are here listening to me are the people who
are just like me.
Exactly.
And we're going to be out here until y'all get what y'all need, baby.
I'm here talking because
when y'all
we're
get
here.
y'all freedom in the school,
exactly.
we'll go home, but until then, we out here.
That's what I'm saying. We're here talking today. We here to walk in that room and talk to those board members because we don't want to be the next Breonna Taylor. We don't want to be painted on the wall or behind someone's t-shirt. We don't want to be another hashtag.
That's right.
We want to...
Too many names.
I want to graduate high school. A lot of us just just living day by day. And why make it harder?
Come on.
We got so many... I don't think a lot of adults don't realize the pressure that are being put on kids going to school every day.
Just for them to school.
Every day. And while you're worried about the safety of your white child, it's been scientifically proven that people look at black kids and minorities as older. Like they don't need to be nurtured as much as their white kids. You're bringing the racial profiling of the street into the school hallway. We don't need that.
That's right.
I want to be in third period and not have to worry about getting to fourth alive. Or tackled. Or questioned. Chief Shields have made it clear what her motives are allowing these officers going to the school buildings. She's talking about gang members. We aren't gang members. Instead of worrying about what's going on in the schools, we need to be investing in those communities. We need to be preventing the problem, going to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem isn't in the school building.
That's it. That's true. That's right, baby.
I'm going to say one more thing. You know what they need to teach us in schools? They need to teach us that we are powerful and that we are beautiful. They need to teach us about Fred Hampton. They need to teach us about Bobby Seale. They need to teach us about Kathleen Cleaver and all the Black Panthers. I'm sick of during the Black History Month only hearing about Dr. Martin Luther King, which he is amazing, but I need to hear about the Black Panthers and I need to hear about other voices. We are powerful and we are beautiful and we deserve just as much as other kids at our school.
That's right. That's right.
A woman in there, she told me, she said, guess what? Nothing progressive happened. Nothing progressive has been happening for the past hundreds of years. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how nothing progressive has been happening for hundreds of years, and I'm sick of it. Of course something progressive happened for you today. Guess what? It's been happening for me my whole damn life.
White people.
That's just what I wanted to say.
That was beautiful.
Real quick, I'm Amber Brown. Real quick, I'm not going to take up too much of y'all's time. But can we stop calling them student resource officers and call them what they are? They are teacher resource officers. They are not here for the students. They are not here for the students' well-being. They are here to make sure that the teachers get home safe. They do not stop bullying. They do not stop verbal assault on students. They do not stop mental health crisis. All they do is come in and criminalize a school. That is school to prison pipeline. If you don't know, that is the new Jim Crow. That is what it is. Now mind you,
Real quick, I'm not going to say too much, but my name is Shondalee, and I have an organization by the name of Feed the Mind, where we do listen to the kids, and we are concerned, and we are trying to address their trauma. But one of the reasons why you all are trying to why y'all feel the need to have SROs in the school is because y'all bus our kids to schools that we can't get to. Because the black parents that are like me, I'm going to beat my son and my daughter's ass if they are acting up in the school if the teacher called me. But because I don't have transportation 28 minutes away and I can't get there, then guess what? They're going to have an SRO to DT my son and then take them to jail.
Come on.
But then when they do call us parents, the black parents who can get to the kids' school, if we do discipline our kids, then they call CPS. So now our kids is in the state custody. So it's not just a pipeline to the penitentiary, it's a pipeline to our kids being lost in these streets. Because our kids don't want to be in the state's custody, so they're going to leave. So y'all don't, it just shows that y'all don't give a damn about our kids. Just like Amber Brown said, that it's not student resource officers, it's teacher resource officers.
That's right.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay then. My name is Gail Miller. I am 80 years old. It's been a long time, and I'm out of touch with a lot of things. I was, What? Okay, I'm going to try. All right, I'm sorry. I'm 80 years old. I was in the civil rights movement, but I've gotten out of touch.
Thank you.
So, no, thank you. I have gotten out of touch when people were in there talking about school resource officers. I thought, great. Resources. Wonderful. That's just what the kids need, you know. You don't need police. I understand this, and I'm sorry. I'm here to apologize for having clapped and to explain to anyone who's listening who doesn't know what a school resource officer is. These are police. We have 4% of the world's population. We have 25% of the people in prisons in the world here. And that's the school to prison pipeline they're talking about.
Teach them.
When we passed the 14th Amendment, what we meant to do, okay, was to give the vote to black males. Now, I disapprove. It should have been black males and females. But it was to give the black males the vote. And instead what happened is some railroad lawyers got involved, and they put a time bomb in it. They fixed it so it said persons rather than human persons, and that was interpreted to mean corporations. And the rights that were supposed to go to black men went to corporations. We are 100 and whatever many years from that, and you still haven't got full black voting rights anywhere in the country. Okay, so I want to apologize for having kind of fluffed off and not knowing what this SRO business was about. I'm definitely not for it, and that's all I wanted to say. And Black Lives
Well, guess what? You was in the civil rights movement. Welcome to the revolution. Do you want a revolution? Do you want a revolution?
Yeah. Okay, my name is Carmen Jones, and I just want to say to the fact that I'm a military brat. I've lived everywhere, been a lot of places, been to a lot of different schools. The first time I was ever called a nigga or nigger, I was in kindergarten. It was by a white girl. My mom's side of the family never used that word, so whenever I went home and asked my grandmother what a nigger was and why my friend couldn't play with me because apparently I was a nigger and I didn't know that I was one, she started crying. So to say that we don't need critical race theory is ignorant, because when you don't have critical race theory, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of me's. A whole bunch of Carmen Jones and Jeffries and everybody else whose parents have taught them about who they are, where they come from, and how to fight for their rights and stuff like that. So all that's going to happen is if you choose to not teach critical race theory and keep these cops in these schools, you're just going to have black and white students eventually fighting each other. Y'all going to see some real race riots. If y'all want to go back in time, that's literally all that's going to happen. While we're teaching our students about who they are, where they come from, and you're ignoring our history, don't forget that black history is American history. Black history is American history. Okay? So while you're not teaching your kids and we're teaching ours, we're also teaching ours that we're not taking this shit no more. No, we're not taking this shit no more. I said what I said. We're not taking this shit no more. So when they, and that's on that, and that's on that, and that's on that. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we're tired. I started protesting when I was 14 years old. I'm now 25. I'm exhausted. I have some of the, all of my scars on my body come from protesting. Come from LMPD specifically. I'm tired of being drug out cars. I'm tired of being hog-tied in streets. Okay, y'all, this stuff is not cool, and our babies are sad, and they're telling y'all, and y'all don't want to listen to them. And by y'all, I ain't talking about y'all out here. I'm talking about the motherfuckers who left. So listen to our kids because they're going to be adults one day. They're going to be a 25-year-old Carmen one day.
That's right.
Thank you, Carmen. I love y'all.
That's right.
Y'all said it all. But know the SROs, and welcome to the revolution. And if you want to get involved, please find us on Facebook, Justice for Louisville. We do pull up at the Metro Council halls. We pull up at your schools. We will pull up at a job if we see a current that is unfit. You see what I'm saying? This is a revolution, and this time this is going to stick, y'all. We're going to take policies back. We're going to take our neighborhoods back. And just like the white supremacy's working together, we as black people going to work together too. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. All right. Quick recap. We're here at Central High School for a JCPS board meeting. The topic is SROs, Student Resource Officers in the school. Got through about 5 or 6, maybe 7 speakers, predominantly white people, predominantly in their twilight years, a little bit aged, maybe a little disconnected from JCPS, unless they have kids, I don't know. But most of them wanted the SROs back. It got a little heated. There were some exchanges verbally, only verbally. A couple people were asked to leave. The board decided to take an intermission, 5-minute intermission, and then we would proceed again. Things kind of picked up, got a little more heated. Again, only verbal altercations, nothing physical. And then JCPS board decided to have everyone go outside, and they would let everyone back in to finish the meeting afterwards. It turns out when we were out here, they decided they did not want to finish the meeting, so we will not be going back in. Further than that, as a high school student even pointed out, they got to speak just a moment ago, those individuals that got to speak early on in the meeting didn't even stay to listen to these high school students whose opinions should matter most in this topic. They didn't hang around. They left as soon as the first person, first young lady started speaking. So it is interesting to see that they are here to, I guess, speak themselves, but aren't willing to listen to the people that are most affected by the problem. We're going to go ahead and sign off for now, though. I got some B-reel and stuff to chop up. Heated night here at JCPS board meeting. I will be following up to the best of my ability. So until then, everybody stay strong, stay safe.